This week in gaming, we got a literal mountain of patch notes for Battlefield 6 Season 3. Arc Raiders Steam reviews hit a wildly low score, CIG announced some major news regarding Star Citizen, and much more. If you were wondering why some patch notes didn't launch alongside the Battlefield 6 Season 3 trailer, well, it's because DICE was actually writing a novel. They just released the patch notes for the update that is coming on the 12th, and they are massive. On top of the new content, including Railway to Golmud and new weapons, the Season 3 update will make substantial changes to vehicle balance, player character handling, netcode, gadgets, weapons, the UI, settings, portal, audio, AI, and RedSec, which has its own subcategory of changes. I'd hesitate to call it Battlefield 6 2.0, but it wouldn't shock me if that's what it feels like on launch day. Vehicles are getting the most dramatic pass, with tanks receiving a simplified angle damage model, new health regeneration rules, smoother handling, more responsive turret aiming, and wide damage tuning across tank shells, IFVs, helicopters, jet countermeasures, and vehicle equipment. The goal seems to be making vehicle fights more predictable for both drivers and anti-vehicle infantry players while keeping everything balanced. Infantry gameplay is also getting a lot of cleanup. The update includes fixes for drag and revive reliability, prone and ADS jitter, hit reactions, damage indicators, animation weirdness, and several netcode issues that could cause unclear deaths or rejected projectile hits under poor network conditions. Weapons are getting a broader usability and balance pass too, including slightly increased recoil on automatic weapons, attachment fixes, shotgun updates, and improvements to reticles, reloads, magnifiers, and mounted weapon behavior. RedSec might honestly be getting enough changes to feel like it's its own mini relaunch. Ranked Battle Royale Quads is the headline addition, but the mode is also getting major flow improvements like loot detection, better anti-vehicle drops, clear mission objectives, downstate tuning, vehicle balance changes, performance fixes, and a ton of Battle Royale specific bug fixes. DICE is also adding seasonal stats, ranked stat filtering, new aircraft threat indicators, UI improvements, portal updates, AI fixes, new upscaling options, and audio changes. So it's not just going to be a content patch, it is a full game-wide recalibration. Season 3 is launching on the 12th with Railway to Golmud. Cairo Bazaar, which is the remake of Battlefield 3's Grand Bazaar, will launch later in the season. Steam reviews for Arc Raiders have fallen to a mixed rating this week after the Riven Tides update seemingly failed to impress. The update added a new beach-themed map that is notable on the smaller side and doesn't feature as many high-tier looting destinations as some other maps. On launch, players were pretty divided on the new map, but they were almost universally upset at the major changes Embark made to weapon durability. Across the board, most weapon tiers now degrade much faster with use. Recent reviews have been leaning negative. Now, as all that said, as someone who's put a ton of time into Arc Raiders recently, I have to say I've warmed up to the Riven Tides map. It still lacks the spectacle of scale that Embark does so well, but it's been a fun change of pace having everything worth looting within a few hundred meters. I was doing some trials on Damn Battlegrounds recently and spawned over 600 meters from where I needed to be. And while Arc Raiders is good at making that travel time fun with plenty of things to see and do along the way, there is something to be said for having a faster paced option. As for cheaters, which have been a big concern for players lately, Embark says they're refining their tools and outlining their current solutions, including kernel-level anti-cheat from Easy Anti-Cheat combined with machine learning models developed in partnership with AnyBrain, who are a pretty hot name when it comes to machine learning anti-cheat tools. Their goal is to continue refining the tools to catch as many cheaters as possible, while also avoiding false positives for people using assistive input devices. Bungie is burning a nearly $1 billion hole in Sony's pocket. The company released their financial reports for fiscal year 2025 and it does not look good. Sony at large is at over $700 million just in their 2025 fiscal year. The loss likely stems from a combination of declining sales for Destiny 2 and Marathon's weak initial sales being essentially a drop in the bucket compared to what that studio needed to be in the green. Star Citizen creator Chris Robert doubled down on the release date of the upcoming campaign experience titled Squadron 42. In an interview with This Week in Video Games, Robert said, quote, "We're gonna get Squadron 42 out first. The plan is for the end of this year, but there's a certain thing in the industry that we, like everyone else, have to pay attention to, so I can't 100% guarantee it. After that, we'll do a 1.0 push." Basically, he, like any other AAA developer, is very worried about the launch of GTA 6 overshadowing the marketing for Squadron 42. Either way, it's at least good to hear the intent to commit to 2026. It means that they're certainly getting close with it, and they've generally been a little bit cagey about sticking to that release date over the past year. Now, in possibly bigger news, CIG have also confirmed that they are skipping CitizenCon for 2026. This is the big annual convention where the studio showcases upcoming features and major updates. The gameplay trailer and live demo for Squadron 42 was revealed during the CitizenCon 2024 keynote, and it was a pretty major spectacle at the time. But last year, they decided against showing more Squadron 42 gameplay to let the devs focus on the actual development. This year, the entire event is canceled to prioritize shipping Squadron 42. Nintendo announced a Switch 2 remake of their iconic Star Fox 64 game. And while it's great to see this iconic space game getting a modern remake, some folks think that Star Fox's character design in particular is, well, a bit cursed. It seems like Nintendo modeled the characters in the remake after the original puppets included in the marketing for the Star Fox SNES game back in the 90s. The puppets themselves were recently confirmed to have fallen apart and been destroyed, but they were pretty iconic staples of the game's marketing. Regardless, it's at least interesting to see Nintendo doing something different from their usual aesthetic, which tends to err on the cute and clean side of things. The Star Fox 64 remake launches exclusively for Switch on June 25th. Speaking of the Switch 2, Nintendo just confirmed their console is finally getting hit with the storage and RAM pricing increases. Starting this September, pricing for the Switch 2 will increase between 8 and 20% depending on the region. For United States gamers, it's only jumping from $450 to $500, but in Japan, it's going up 20%. Call of Duty is finally calling it quits on the last generation consoles. This year's entry in the franchise won't be available on Xbox One or PlayStation 4 consoles. Rumors suggest we're getting Modern Warfare 4 in the usual Q4 spot, but Activision haven't announced anything other than it skipping last gen consoles. Xbox CEO Asha Sharma announced this week that Copilot is no longer being developed for consoles. This is the controversial AI suite of tools and software that Microsoft has steamrolled into Windows 11. It's proven unpopular with users, and Microsoft have already started rolling back some of its integrations, or at least dropping the Copilot branding from them. Sharma also announced that several leadership positions at Xbox have been filled by former Microsoft Core AI executives, because nothing says competent leadership of a gaming division like putting AI executives in charge of everything. Valve's Steam controller sold out instantly Monday morning as scalpers and legit customers raced each other to get their hands on one. It sold out in a matter of minutes, with eBay listings for $200 popping up almost immediately. The good news is Valve just rolled out a first-come first-served reservation system for the controller. As of writing this, the reservations just went live, but Valve says they'll be shipping the hardware as they get stock in, so the sooner you reserve one, the sooner you'll get it. Reservations are limited to 1 unit per account, and you'll have 72 hours to claim your purchase when your reservation is ready. The next FPS from PUBG's publisher Krafton is getting another round of playtesting. PUBG Black Budget is an upcoming extraction shooter set in the Battle Royales universe, and it's basically PUBG Tarkov. And despite the usual dismay at yet another extraction shooter Tarkov clone coming to the market, an initial closed playtest for Black Budget did do very well, and the Steam concurrent player count hit nearly 10,000 players. The next round of playtesting is likely launching soon, and you can sign up for a slot on the game's Steam page. Up next, if you want to see a video covering the top 10 mods that turned into standalone video games, check out this one here. Some of these games on this list are some of the biggest games in all history. It's kind of amazing to see that a huge amount of our gaming experiences came from the modding scene. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.